Long logs delivery to the logging warehouse in Zherbai Quarries. Hello there everybody and welcome to Opafed Gaming and another exciting episode of SnowRunner. I am the Opafed. We got a call today from dispatch seeing if we were close enough to the logging station up here so we could pick up the rear trailer and a set of long logs that we could deliver to the logging warehouse. Now we are on the Zherbai Quarries map, which is the only map in the Almaty Region, and we're in our Avenhorn A15. We were close enough, so we came up here and loaded up a set of logs, and now we're going to attempt to deliver them. I don't think we're going to have too much trouble. It's a fairly routine drive, but it is a ways to go. Now we are in the cranes, saws, and 3 smoking logs task. They got some cool names for these tasks. And we're going to see if we can complete this. Now, we're going to go nice and slow and easy because this is deep forest logging, and the logging road has a bunch of twists and turns, and until we get off this road, we got to take it easy and be really careful the way we drive. We don't want to lose this load of logs because then we got to go back and get another one. So we're going to try and deliver it all in one shot without making any mistakes, hopefully. Now, like I keep preaching, speed kills in this game, obviously. You got to go slow and take it easy, but going slow, if you do make a mistake, it's a little bit easier to catch yourself in time before it becomes a fatal mistake. So with that thought in mind, I always go a little bit slower. Now we're going to put it in the high range of the low gear, which is a little bit more of a steady grinding climb. Then the truck won't keep shifting down, so we can keep it going at an even speed. And it's fast enough for this logging road. Now just up ahead here is a big crack in the rocks in the road, but there is a big little bit of a raised area in the middle on the one side there. So we're going to go over there, but we got to go really slowly so we don't get any damage to the truck. But once we're over, we're up and running again. Now, when you're four-wheeling across the countryside with a load of long logs on the trailer, it's always best to try and stick to the tracks, I think, for the most part. Now every once in a while the situation does come up where you have to go a little bit off-road, and you always got to remember the off-track, so try and take your turns a little bit wider. Sweeping turns like this one here obviously are not included in that. You can just follow them along. And as we come along, you'll see that the turns will get a little bit tighter, and when they do, you want to try and stay a little bit to the outside of the track a little so that you can make the turn a little bit easier. Now, the Avenhorn, with the little rocks and boulders that are on the road, we're not too concerned because he runs right over top of them. They're not much of a problem. Now they put them there so that I think they want you to veer off to one side or the other, but sometimes it's prudent to just stay in the middle of the track like we did there. A little bit of mud and water never stop the Avenhorn either, so he easily gets through this without much pushback. We're going to be okay here. Now with these jobs, you always got to consider which truck you use. Now any truck that I got in the fleet, like the Kenworth or the Plaid 450 or the Dairy Special, they could all do this job. However, up at the logging station was a really tight turn and was very, very small area. So I figured I'd get the shortest truck that I've got with the most power, which is the Avenhorn A15, which is why I picked them for this particular job. Now we got a few little detours to make, but as you're going to find out, that with this truck is very capable, you're not going to have a lot of problems. It's basically try and keep your truck in the middle, take the turns a little wide, and just up ahead here a little bit. Well, we're not there yet. We're going to have to go a little bit off-road because the road turns and then goes up a hill, and it's quite angly if you try to follow the tracks, as you'll see in a second here. But you see the roads are pretty twisty and they go back and forth, and Now right over here, you can see the road goes up the little hill. Now if you follow the tracks, you'd be tilting from one side to the other. So I thought it might be a better idea just to go around this rock here. It's a little bit bouncy, but it's doable. And by doing that, you can attack this little hill at a little bit more of a straight on shot rather than coming around that corner. And as you'll see, the truck still tilts to the right. So had we come from that corner, from the tracks, it might have tilted a little bit too much. It might have flipped the truck. So you don't want to take those chances. You know, here again, try and take the corner a little bit wide. It's not always possible. And sometimes I just keep my fingers crossed and hope that the rear wheels will follow me and that they're not going to fall into the ditch, as it has happened before. Now, as you can see up ahead there, we're almost at the highway. Once we hit the highway, then it's off and rolling. We still got a few little problem areas, but nothing too substantial. So we just got one more little tight turn. Oh, I should have taken that maybe a little bit wider. Don't always follow my own advice as I should, because guaranteed it might be a little bit easier. But we made it through all right. And a little bit of a mud hole here, and then we're on the highway. Now, paved highway for a truck like this is not a problem, obviously, because it's just an easy go. But you have to run all the way to the other side of the map. So it's great that there is a paved highway that we can run on. As we're coming around the corner here, and there is another one of the warehouses, and just up to the left is where the garage is. As we're coming around the corner here, it's starting to get a little bit dark, and as you all know, the OpenFed loves to drive in the day so you can see the game, and we'll just change our time forward so we got some bright sunshine and a brand new day, and we continue on our route. And like I said, this part here is just absolute joy driving this truck. He's a fantastic truck to drive. Responds really well, lots of power, lots of torque. I can't say enough good things about him. The places where he bogs down is where you need really big tires, where the mud might be really deep, or you got to go through really deep water. But even through some of those, you got your winch, so you know you get stuck, you can always pull yourself through with the winch. Anyhow, this is a very, very capable truck, and one of the top trucks of my fleet. So I do like to use it quite often, but I like to give it a break once in a while too and try something new. And we're going to do that in the upcoming videos, just kind of, you know, tag team with other trucks and see what they're like and see how they drive, depending upon the job, of course. I mean, if you're going to be in deep snow, you're not going to drive something with really tiny tires. You want to have a truck that is capable of taking on the terrain that you're driving in. And this one is pretty capable truck. Now, the only thing is that you can't have when you put a flat deck on the back of the Avenhorn, you can't put a crane on there. Now, I could have put a crane on here with this, but I didn't need it, so why put the extra weight on? And you might think, well, it's a game and it's not going to be much of a difference, but it does change the way you drive. Weight, any kind of weight that you add onto your truck will change the way your truck drives. And keep that in mind. Anyhow, as we're coming up here to this, I can't remember what this facility was called, but they're working on the road, and they've been working on the road since I got to the Almaty region. So we're going to have to take a little detour here, which is okay. It's not a difficult detour. There again, you take your time, slow down, and keep it in the middle. Go a little bit wide when you first come in, because you know it's like a half a moon, I guess. You can call it half a seat, backward seat. Keep it down the middle, and when you come out, when you climb out to the far end, don't cut the corner too tight towards the left, because that rock at the bottom will catch your tire and will lift your one side of your truck up. And the reason I know that is because I've done it. And when I lifted the truck up, it flipped it right over. So take it a little bit wider there, and just take it a little easy. She'll climb right out of there, and you bypass the little washout. Now, that was one little detour, but up ahead here, we've got another little detour that we got to take, and in previous videos, for any of you that have been watching my videos, I've gone through there and I gotten stuck in there. Now the big trucks like the Kenworth and maybe even the Plaid, not too much of a problem, but I've gone through there with the Dairy Special and I was stuck in there for quite some time. And then I finally realized that if you look up ahead, there's a little road that goes to the left off the paved road here. Now if you go straight, you can see the mud pit, or you can see the washed out road. So we're going to take this little side road, which is a detour for the detour. And we're going to go around, and you're going to see how much easier it is as than when I went through there with the Dairy Special. And let me tell you, I can promise you, I won't be going through the mud anymore, no matter what I'm driving. I'm going to be coming around here because it's a little bit easier, and you can, when you come down off this little section here, you bypass the worst part of the mud pit. There's a little boulder on the road there in front of you, and you can just kind of drive around it. Now you can follow the tracks to the left there, or you can go through the water here. Either one is acceptable, neither one will slow you down. And it just grinds right through there and claws back up out the other side. No muss, no fuss, and we're back on our way. And that was pretty well the toughest detour, which we now turned into a very easy little bypass. Absolutely awesome. Love this game, love the way the trucks drive. Not fond of all the trucks, but there's quite a few of them that I like, and we're going to try and showcase as many of them in the upcoming videos that we can. Anyhow, I really enjoyed it. I hope you did too, and hope you got some tips out of it. And if you just came for the fun of it, for watching the video because you like these kinds of videos, be careful. That's how I got involved. I loved watching them, and I ended up playing them, as you can see. But it's a lot of fun and very enjoyable. I'd love to see you back at Overfed Gaming again real soon for our next video. Until then, we've been delivering long logs to the logging warehouse in Zherbai Quarries in an Avenhorn A15, with me as the driver, the Overfed.